Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for coming back. Today, I got two of my best friends together. We got Will Hubert and Doug Sluka. Thanks for joining me, guys. You ready for another one?
It's always a privilege, man.
It's always. Well, so, we were getting ready. We were talking before. Doug, you found some news about Baker.
Yeah, so for the Rookie of the Year, which they were both up for last year, they made a bet that whoever would...
Who's they?
Baker and Saquon Barkley. And obviously Saquon won it, so Baker had to give him like a golden necklace that said quads on it, and people were asking if he was going to do Saquads, but apparently having those extra letters costs a little too much money for Baker, even though he's going to make a lot of money in his career.
Of course.
But yeah, I just thought that was hilarious. Like, they were just like, yeah, we're both up for the running, let's make a friendly bet over it. Like, that's pretty awesome.
So wait, what was the bet itself?
That whoever wins, the loser would like get them like a jewelry, something with personalized necklace or bling.
Oh,
For them?
For them. So like Baker lost, so he had to get something for Saquon Barkley, who won Rookie of the Year.
Of course. Here, lean in more because it's definitely not picking up you guys. Okay, so speaking of Baker, last time I had you on, Doug, we were going to talk about football because we were talking so much about baseball. We were going to kind of just talk about the difference between all these different football leagues. We were talking about the XFL, the NFL, the AAFL, and arena football. I don't know. What comments do you have about that to kick it off?
I like that there's more football. Because the XFL is going to be during a different time of the year than the NFL, and so personally I like the idea of football year-round.
Yeah, but do you think it's going to collapse? Like that league that just came out?
The AAFL?
Yeah, just like completely...
I
was doing great. Like
it had a hot start because people wanted to see what it was and what it could turn into, but I don't think it had the higher caliber of playing to keep it alive.
Oh yeah, you're not going to have... But at the same time, do you think they're going to have like a league literally equivalent to the NFL?
Well, dude, what's really funny is when the American Football League came out, before Trump destroyed it himself,
he
single-handedly.
bought the team and then destroyed it.
That was like one of the coolest 30 for 30s I ever watched. Was it starts off with them like, hey, we're going to go interview Trump, and Trump's like, I feel like I'm getting set up here. This is baloney. We're talking about a league that I'm not even in anymore. It doesn't even exist. You guys are ambushing me. And that was the extent of their interview. He didn't even talk about it. And then they go to the whole documentary of like what happened. And the whole story is about how this league was produced to compete against the NFL. And it was doing a pretty damn good job because they somehow finagled a way to get the first, the first years they were in it, they got the first round draft pick to choose to come to their league, which was huge. The NFL was shaking in their boots because they thought the tide was turning. Now, the highest caliber rookies that are coming in the league are choosing to go to the American Football League. But Trump bought a team, and he was hoping that he would be able to get the NFL to buy them out so he could have an NFL team for cheap. Why? Because the NFL is a little band of fraternity brothers that you actually need of owners that won't let you have to be okayed to own a football team and join their club. And they were vetoing Trump. They were against Trump owning a team and being a part of the NFL, a part of their group. And as a result, this was his way of trying to finagle a team into the NFL. And as a result, he single-handedly he disbanded and ruined the American Football League. And but back to your point, there was a league that was going to take over the NFL. Trump pulled the trigger too soon, and it dismantled the whole thing. So for people that it could have blew up. Yeah. And it was about to. It was on its way up. So for the people that don't know, what happened was Trump kept pushing the league to move to fall. He wanted to be in the fall to compete against the NFL because right at that period they were in the spring and they had all the fandom because, like you said, you want it year-round. And they were a little raunchier. You had people playing volleyball or with beach balls in the stands, and people were bringing their own beer and stuff, so it was just a shit show, like, NASCAR.
It's like the Happy Gilmore of football.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore. I like that.
Yes! Yes, that's a perfect
It sounds
analogy.
like it.
That's really what it was like. And as a result, Trump kept pushing the American Football League owners to move to the fall to completely take over the NFL, to put the NFL on blast, to force them to buy out the American Football League. As a result, half the commissioners didn't want to go to fall, half of them did, and the whole fallout disbanded the whole league. And it's like, that was the one time the NFL was going. And on top of that, I think the NFL is on kind of a downtick with, you see signs all the time. It's the National Felon League. So you've got lack of character.
Well, that's what the XFL is. They have rules now that you can't have like a criminal record and play in their league, which is why people
Really?
are like, which is why people are like, Johnny Manziel might not even be able to play in the XFL
Poor Johnny.
because of their rules.
Guess he can't do coke before that game. Remember, he wasn't playing, but you remember he got caught in like Miami on a Saturday before we had a game Sunday with pictures of him doing coke off a bar. It's like classy.
You didn't think no one would take a picture? Like Joe Namath.
Yeah.
I don't see Baker doing that shit.
Right, you won't. And what's funny is his agent or manager's like, yeah, he's back and he's going to be in full swing. Watch him in the Canadian Football League and he's going to be back in the NFL.
He played up there. He just didn't exactly.
He just flopped terribly, like with all the interceptions and.
Dude, his first throw actually in Canadian Football League, because I was curious. I was like, yeah, it's on. I'll watch it. I'll see how he's doing. His first throw, pick. Like,
yes, the first throw.
It couldn't have been any scripted better. I was like, oh boy, Johnny.
Well, one of the reason why like I knew about this Johnny Manziel thing in the XFL partly is because I think one of his former coaches from the Canadian Football League is going to be a coach in the XFL.
Probably.
And he was saying like, yeah, I actually wouldn't mind having Johnny, but he never said like he wants Johnny because no one's even sure if he's going to be able to play in that league.
It's amazing he hasn't OD'd.
Supposedly he's turned around.
Ugh.
Maybe he found God.
Remember he wanted to be called John for a while because he was trying to rebrand himself?
Speaking of that, what did happen to Tim Tebow?
Oh, he's getting married. He's finally getting that nut.
Really?
Yeah.
He gets to finally learn what we've been all doing since we were like 14.
He's gotta feel good. He's gotta feel. He finally found his God.
He finally
Found his God.
No, he's still. Actually,
Is he still
it's
on
funny
the-
you mention him.
Yeah, is he playing baseball
Yeah,
still?
he's still playing baseball.
Yeah.
I actually saw Tim Tebow hit a home run in minor league baseball. Like,
Did he come here?
he was playing the Rubber Ducks, and he was here like a year last summer, and I saw him play, and I saw him smoke a homer.
Really?
It was pretty sweet to
Smoke
see
a
Tim
homer.
Tebow
I mean, he is an athlete.
just like ripped it too, and like the amount of people there too, like at the Akron Rubber Ducks game, like in old Florida and like Denver Tebow jerseys. Like,
Oh,
football
that's
jerseys.
cool.
Like it was
People wanna
pretty
see
sweet.
him.
It was like, yeah, that's why I went. I heard he was going, so I was like, okay. Let's go
Because
see
you
how
know
he
what?
does.
There's some people where it's like, okay, controversial, but I'm going to go there. Someone like Ray Lewis. People are more of a fan of his ability to be a great athlete than they are of his character. Because that guy's a damn murderer and got away with murder. So nobody likes him. He's a piece of shit, even though psychos in Baltimore do. But aside from that, nobody likes him. They like how damn good he was at playing the sport. Tim Tebow wasn't really, once he hit the highest level of the highest caliber play, he kind of dropped off. He wasn't able to hold his own, but people love him. He's out of the NFL, and people still we're a fan of you, dude. Whatever you're doing, fucking go play a round of golf, and we'll all go cheer for you. It's just interesting. Like, people rag on him and was giving him such a hard time for being that clean cut, like, I'm going to be a Bible thumping kid. I'm going to be proud of it, and, I'm going to wear it on my sleeve. People gave him a hard time, and yet most people embrace him for it. He's a good guy, and there's literally nothing you could hate about him.
What about O.J. Simpson?
Let's talk about OJ coming back to Twitter.
Oh yeah, he's made his tweet about like Khloe Kardashian or something like.
Yeah.
Yeah, she ain't mine. She's not my daughter. Everyone's okay. OJ.
All right, you're back on Twitter, and that's what you had to get out there.
He DM'd someone back, just 3 knife emojis. Could you imagine the flex to do that? You know exactly my
Hey man,
story
he was
and who I
already
am.
charged.
No, how about this? Imagine being Craig in the middle of Kansas, and you pull up your Twitter account, and you got a message from
O.J. Simpson.
not Bill the neighbor, from the O.J. Simpson
The hash-slinging slasher himself.
with knives. I'd build a wall around my house. I'd be like, I don't feel safe anymore.
I would call the nearest authority and be like, listen.
He probably would have gone back. Shouldn't he go back to jail? Isn't that like a parole violation to send a threatening message to someone? Because is he on
Is
parole?
he on parole?
Well, remember he got released from jail only a couple years ago because of that theft. I thought he was still on parole though, or something.
Hey, speaking of former football tragedies, how about Kellen Winslow?
Oh, Kellen Winslow.
Like he got
charged with rape and
Yeah.
he got convicted of it. He was charged with like 12
Junior?
other counts. Yeah,
Yeah, the
Junior.
kid we had.
Not the one that's in the Hall of Fame.
no, his
Not
son,
his dad.
his pride and joy.
So, O.J. Simpson was sentenced to 33 years in prison with eligibility for parole in 9 years. He was released from prison on October 1st, 2017.
So he's got to still be on probation.
So he's, yeah.
Damn, he's almost been out for 2 years now. OJ's been a free man for 2 years.
And he's just hitting Twitter.
And he's just...
He's been trying to stay, like, keep it low pro until he...
Dude, the first
Robbed
weekend he got out, he
someone.
went to Vegas.
Yeah, he went ham in Vegas.
Hey, I don't blame him.
Because he was in jail in Nevada.
You get away with things there.
Wasn't he in jail in Nevada? Because that's where the robbery that he got charged
He
with
might
took
have. He might have
place.
literally just like went down the
So-
street. after.
Yeah. I thought he was in
With
Nevada
what
for
money?
prison.
I don't know, but
His
he had
NFL
it, apparently.
pension.
Dude,
They
he's
can't touch
OJ.
the pension.
He just put his thumb
Oh,
out
that's
like...
true,
They
yeah.
legally can't touch his NFL pension, so when he was in prison for like those few years, he just banked all that pension money.
How much would they normally get for that?
He gets a lot of pension
Dude,
money, I
he's-
think.
No. Like, I'm totally ignorant to that. So, like,
I
an
don't know how
NFL
much,
player,
but he
how does that
gets-
work?
He played enough years that he's getting the NFL pension for being in the Players Association, the union that he paid into and all that. But also, like, part of with his civil suit, like, he owes them money, but they couldn't touch his NFL pension. That was, like, part of the ruling, I'm pretty sure, is they couldn't touch his pension.
That makes sense. And I, don't, I don't know.
Take someone's retirement away. He wasn't found
Yeah, man,
guilty
he's
of an
worked
actual
hard.
crime. He just lost a civil suit.
He's worked hard.
He's worked hard.
He's worked hard.
Okay.
But I still want to see the XFL, and I'm excited for it.
Yo, I could not be more excited. I think the XFL is what I think you're never going to get away the American hunger for football.
We love
Like
football.
our society will always love
At
football.
least up here we love football.
Well,
Founding-
you're right.
founding
Ohio,
state.
Texas, like we are the two states that are going to be the most football.
And Florida.
And
I live in
Alabama.
Florida.
But the two states that are known for being the most adamant about football are Texas and Florida, or Texas and Ohio.
I was gonna say.
Hall
Hall of Fame, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
yeah,
the Hall of Fame, so many coaches. In terms of not players, so many coaches are just from Ohio.
that's a good point
Miami
too.
has cradle of coaches.
Yeah, they do. And yeah, the amount that came through there. I don't know what's going on with the internet right now. I'm having a hard time pulling some of these up, but yeah, I just feel like the XFL is the replacement everybody wants. People don't like the NFL, but people love football. And so I think you're never going to make me stop. I'll never stop being a Browns fan, right? So as long as there's a Browns, I'm still going to be rooting for the Browns. But I'm looking for another team. I'm looking for a new league because everybody loves hating Goodell, and rightfully so. He sucks. The way the league manages themselves, it's stupid. Listen, when you've got people who beat the shit out of their kids with a switch and, their wives and everything else, and they're out there collecting checks and making TDs, but Josh Gordon, who is the fastest mofo out there, can't even touch the field because he can't keep a joint out of his mouth.
Oh, it's
like,
more than just that, though.
what? What do you mean?
He was doing other stuff than just weed, too, from what I thought.
I thought it was all weed until, towards the end.
No, there were like
I thought there was
photos
more.
of him and Johnny like doing some blow.
Oh, well, that was it too.
I don't think the blow
but,
went away.
But remember, when him and Johnny were together, that was when he was on suspension. So he was on the Browns, but he wasn't playing. And I remember coming across a video. I'll never forget this, dude. Oh, so I'm scrolling on Facebook, and I come across a video that says, some tagline, that catchy tagline, clickbait that's like, see what Josh Gordon's doing in his off time preparing for the season. I'm like, ooh. I clicked on it immediately. I'm like, we're going to see videos of him pulling sleds, flipping tires, sledgehammers. Like, this is going to be a hardcore video, like, workout mantra. No. Hard, no. Definitely not. So it opens up with him going, yeah, I picked up a new hobby. It's my new favorite hobby. I love art. And you're like,
yeah, I remember
what?
that.
And he's like, yeah, I love going to these art shows, and I started doing art myself. I paint, and I love going to these art shows. So he takes his like camera crew with him to one of the art shows. He's going to the art, looking at the art. Well, an hour into the art show, it turns into a... Stage comes out, Drake comes out, turns into a giant club party. Everybody's drinking, bottles popping. I'm like, you're suspended. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to drink.
You can't drink when you're on suspension, which is also the reason why then he got suspended longer, because he got caught drinking alcohol.
And it's even funnier, the end of the video. The end of the video, he goes, yeah, and, I love that we just got Johnny Manziel. Me and him are becoming best friends. I'm getting him into the art scene. It's like, oh, yeah, the art scene.
yeah,
Dude, this isn't art.
This guy's a big Picasso guy.
Salvador Dali all the way, baby.
More Jackson Pollock.
But yeah, it was just so funny. It's like, is he really the influence the guy who can't play because he can't stop doing drugs should be hanging out with? But hey,
we thought that would work out well.
Hey, Johnny's going through a rough time and he's getting divorced.
Is he really?
Yeah, I guess. I saw an article about it.
He's getting divorced.
Didn't he beat her when he was on the Browns or something?
Yes.
No, that was a different girl.
Yo,
That was a different girl.
So my question is, what are you getting married for to begin with? Like, it was obvious you're not of the type that to last long, or, it's like...
Want to know what it is?
He likes...
That's what happens when you have too much money. I need to bring something in to take half of it.
Ask Jeff Bezos.
Yeah, seriously.
I'm the richest mofo alive.
He's still the richest
And he's still the richest man alive. Literally, this chick cut his wealth in half, and he's still the richest man alive.
And she's the richest woman.
And, moving on to that. Mm-hmm. Am I the only one that's bothered that our tax... again, I got paid Friday, and again, half my paycheck is taken away, so again, I'm going to care about my taxes, unlike the liberals, and am I the only one that's bothered by the fact that we subsidize Amazon packages so they can get to you faster and cheaper?
Wait,
so
we do?
We, the American taxpayer, subsidize Amazon packages so that they can do it as fast and as cheap as they do.
I thought they paid taxes on sales in the States. They do though.
Well,
Ohio
they do.
Does.
They do, but they have the price is subsidized. Whatever they're the cost through the US...
that cheap, so that we don't pay as much than when we buy something.
Yeah, the consumer.
Yeah. Well, I fucking never order stuff from Amazon.
You should.
I better start ordering stuff.
But back to my point is that completely undercuts any other business trying to compete. They can't compete with somebody.
Just Amazon?
Just Amazon. The eBay isn't getting it. Nobody Amazon's getting subsidized shipping, and nobody can compete with it. So when we sit here and talk about how the future is going to be groceries being delivered to your front yard and all this, it's like, well, and we know in that conversation we're talking about Amazon. Amazon's the one, obviously, we're all going to be getting our groceries and stuff from Amazon. It's like, right, yeah, and they'll have the drone travel and everything, but it's like...
I can't wait for a drone to show up to my house.
Isn't it crazy that the future, like the Jetsons, is going to be just a trail, a road of drones going through the sky? You're just going to see drone. Right now you look up, you see a blue sky and clouds. And our future will be a trail of drones. Just...
Honestly, what I envision, though, is the first 10 minutes of Terminator.
Yo, Terminator's here. Terminator's
artificial intelligence.
I don't think it's that bad yet.
I'll get to that. So first off, my job, the software that they put into the computers, every time I turn off the computer goes, "I'll be back." And I'm like, "Oh, you little dick, you probably will. Obviously, I'll be back here tomorrow. You will be back." But it always makes me think about Google, I think it was Google, someone created an artificial intelligence that they had to permanently shut down because every time they turn it off, it would turn itself back on and get increasingly more aggravated for being turned off. So they would have this AI that they would turn off, it would turn itself back on, and it's like, it had attitude. It was like upset. So like, yeah, we might not be there, but we're marching right down that path.
I don't know, man. Until Arnold's coming after me, we're not there yet.
Well, Google has like Google Duplex, which is like a thing on like it's like a virtual assistant. It's like part of the assistant. And I saw a video online about it. It can like call, like if you say, "Hey Google, like schedule me an appointment at," as my phone does it, at like this time at this place, and it will call that place and go, "I would like to make a reservation for this person at this time."
Really?
And they would go, "Well, you know what, we're or you could say like within this range of times," and so they'll call and the person would answer and go like, "Well, you know, we actually only have tables available during this time," and it would go, well, I guess that'll work. Can you do this? Like Google would adjust to the conversation to get to what you told it to do. It was like able to adapt to the conversation. And then they showed like they had a recording of it called like a Chinese restaurant. And they're like, it can even handle situations where it's not sure what's going on. And it called a Chinese restaurant and it was like adapting to like person was like, what you say? Because the person on the other end couldn't understand, and it like was able to adapt to that and like say it again and again until he said, "Oh, okay. So what about?" It was awesome.
Wow,
it was awesome. I watched this video. I'm like, that is awesome.
The fact that it can adapt, but that back to that point, it's like that is kind of, when you listen to Joe Rogan and Elon Musk especially. These people who are, highly educated in that realm are extremely worrisome about AI and where that might lead to. At the same time, I don't know, let me see if I can get his actual name because I don't want to butcher it. But my favorite podcast I listened to recently was Naval. I can't remember his last name off the top of my head, and of course
Naval
the internet
Cannon or something like that.
Yeah, it was like Naval, like even I can't remember, but one that was the smartest dude ever on there. I'm gonna listen to this on repeat, like as a mantra. But he was the first person ever on there to not be worried and actually embrace AI. And he goes, think about it. Everybody's worried that this is going to take away jobs and people are going to be, just like the auto driving for trucks that, there's going to be a presidential election based on universal basic income because, one of the Democratic...
Yang.
Yes, Yang. He's all for it, and he believes it's because... like 60% of the jobs are truck drivers, and those are going to be replaced with AI. And he's like, these people are going to need jobs. Well, this Naval guy, he goes, no. They had the same worry when the steam engine was made. They had the same worry when even the plow was made. I mean, you think about it, when a new invention came out, that was the concern. And it may completely eliminate one job, but it only opens the door to create new jobs. There's going to be, we're just going to have to retrain. You're going to have to become, code savvy and everything else, where the new jobs will be maintaining these AIs and creating new software. And so it was interesting to finally find somebody that wasn't actually concerned that the end is nigh.
The end is nigh.
But, I don't know, man. I think it'll be interesting, but it's definitely the road we're heading towards is drones in the sky and, everything. But it's just weird that you've got a guy who is the richest man in the world, and we're subsidizing his ability to continuously increase that and get there. I mean, hell, he got there on our tax dollars.
Yeah.
But now nobody can compete with that. So it's like, how is this not anti-American?
It's crazy how I wonder.
Well, that's
like how far along into Amazon Bezos was like, oh my god, like I'm getting ridiculously huge. Like just Amazon itself, like and like the free will they're being given by like the United States, just like all of that like freedom just for this guy who just gets it packaged there quicker.
Wow.
That's all it took for him to just become like.
That was it.
Yeah.
It was the package delivery.
And I wonder how, like, where along the line, how small Amazon was at that point, though, to where it was clicking for him. Like,
Well,
oh my
let's
God,
think
I'm
about
never
this.
even
Let's think
bigger
about
in
this.
life.
Amazon was books. If you think about what Amazon was when it started, it was a bookstore online.
Yeah.
This man turned an electronic bookstore into everyone's everything store. Tom,
Literally everything, like groceries that can go bad within a day, and
like
God
Tom
knows what else,
Segura's special said it perfectly. He's like, we are getting so lazy. At 3 a.m, you could go, I want a ham sandwich, a hammer, and a piece of cake, and that shit'll be at your front door tomorrow. It's like that's crazy, and yet nobody can compete with that. You know, think about Home Depot. Home Depot was balanced out by Lowe's, and so they were able to look at Walmart. Walmart is competing with a Target or a Kmart. Kmart's done, but that's capitalism, right?
Yeah.
The better businesses buried the worser business, and it's just sad that eBay is its own thing. It's a bidding site, but they'll never be able to compete. You'll never have, and that's the closest thing to Amazon. You're never gonna have any. We can't.
eBay was more like eBay was what Amazon is now. Like you could get almost anything on eBay, and it had more than just books. But it's amazing how it just got left behind.
But dude, the problem with eBay is they've got a terrible system. Like for how long it's come. I think when I was like 14 and stuff, when I was a little kid, I was putting stuff on eBay for my dad. He'd be like, hey, put this on eBay and you could keep the money, whatever you get. So I'd be putting stuff on eBay. It was not easy at all. I'm sitting there with these clunky cameras, but what's funny is now it's been so long and there's been almost no evolution to that system. It's the same crap.
It's the exact same site.
Yeah. But look at Amazon, back to our point. It was books. Then it was a little bit more. Now it's everything. I mean, the newest addition was groceries. I think that's crazy.
They bought Whole Foods, yeah.
Yeah.
That gave them a chance into that market.
It's like Disney.
Chicago and Cali was happy.
It's like Disney. Disney bought them.
Yeah.
Well, Amazon has stores now where there's no cashiers. You just walk in, you use your phone to pay for everything. Like if you go and take a drink out, it like charges your phone.
Hell, it's crazy. Like so similar along that line, just like on like social media though, like on Instagram now, you could buy stuff from the app.
Yo, but you know what's really creepy? Like, I know we all know about it, but it's really creepy how this stuff listens to us and then advertises it in your face, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like you could play the game of what's something. I did this to prove it to my dad. I was like, okay. I tell them I think they listen to us, and then they advertise what they hear you talking about. My dad thinks I'm crazy. So I go,
100%.
let's pick something that we would never buy, never talk about. We don't have a cat. We'll never have a cat. We're never, ever going to ever have a cat.
Don't always sneeze, man.
Yeah, well, my mom's allergic. That's the only reason. But we were sitting there, and for 2 days, we'd be like, hey, we got to get the cat food. Don't forget to get the cat food. We got to get cat food. And we would just keep saying that randomly. And then within 2 days, we started having cat food advertisements on randomly, like on
There you
Facebook
go.
and stuff.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
And everybody knows that Facebook and Twitter, literally, if you have your phone off and it's just in your pocket, right?
And it's just like the app is open.
Not even that
No,
anymore.
it's
if it's
always
just
listening.
if your phone is on,
It's always listening.
not even here's the scarier one. It's pinging GPS back to them, and they are literally following your daily routine. So if they see that you're going to the post office a lot, or you're going to Giant Eagle a lot, so now they're literally compiling a file on how you spend your day, so they can maximize advertisement on that as well.
Oh, they're really bored with me then.
Yeah, I know. I go to
That's
Work,
why-
Chipotle, home. We're like, damn, all we can advertise is
Work,
get a
bar.
Chipotle.
Damn, man, you should have bought stock.
Now I was gonna start advertising Chipotle stock for you, Will. Like, hey,
And knows better than it knows I'm still going.
He knows I
It
can't
doesn't need
afford
to
stock.
advertise. It doesn't even need to advertise it. They're like, he's going.
He's going.
but
going
we're
tomorrow.
talking about all this. There's like government investigations now into like their privacy stuff because of that Facebook thing that happened, with Cambridge and user data.
No, what?
That was like
Well,
a couple
explain it.
years
They
ago.
may not.
The ominous
the
thing.
Cambridge Analytics, like they were selling users information to like this company, Cambridge Analytics, that was using that information and giving it to, I think, the Clinton campaign, for they could like target people, and so like Facebook got caught selling user data.
Wait, is this Benghazi?
Yes.
Sorry.
So like they got in a lot of trouble, and then there's been all these investigations into like, you know, their privacy, and that's why like now all these other social medias like Twitter now like has all these different security settings now for your personal data, because everyone's like, well, we don't want to be the next Facebook and get all these government investigations done. But right now too, like talking about how big Amazon is and everything, there's like I'm pretty sure there's an antitrust investigation starting at the Justice Department into like Amazon and Google and Apple and all those big companies like that, because Apple is definitely like one of they own the majority of the tech market, you know. Google is pretty much the only search engine, and they're the only real phone competitor, Android, to Apple.
Right.
And then Amazon is really the only online store. Like eBay, like we talked about, is a minor competitor, but not much. So it's like I like heard about that, and I think that's probably good. You know, I don't know how it will all end, but I'm like, well, that's definitely true. Like Google's definitely like the leader of websites. Like if you go to anything, it's a common word now. Like you might not even Google something, but you call it Google.
Yeah, like Google it. Go ahead and Google it. Like,
Yeah,
hey, do
Google
you know
is
when the
definitely-
game is tomorrow? Google it.
Like tissues or Kleenex, like you ask for like those aren't the actual name. Those are like Kleenex is a brand, but everyone calls a tissue Kleenex or stuff like that.
Right.
And it's because it was a popular, and so it became common usage. Escalator for the stairs, like, you know, the escalator, that was the name of a brand when it first came out, and it was so successful.
No way.
Yeah.
So what were they called? Moving
Xerox.
stairs?
Yeah, they were like called moving stairs or something like that, I'm pretty sure.
The magic carpet.
But basically, like,
The
stuff
magic
just
carpet.
becomes like
Dude,
common
that's what they call
usage.
the carriers at ski resorts.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
is.
Boston Mills has a magic carpet.
Yeah.
Dude, I'd fall on my ass all the time when I would do that with skis.
I tried those. Yeah, I didn't like it either.
Like dipshit
I'm going to
would
be
get
honest
on.
with you. As a skier, I think my least favorite, I mean, obviously I'll do it because that's the only way my fat ass is getting to the top of the hill, but I'm not a fan of putting that belt like that. Okay, you come up to the band that goes up and you put the bar behind your back and it just drags you up the hill. Least favorite, because getting off of that, not fun. Or your foot goes out like just a little bit and you're like, rock your t-shirt.
So I've only ever had a ski lift. I've never had
Sound effect.
Yo, is it bad that you said ski lift? It just popped in my head. This has been stuck with me for a while. I'm on a ski lift. There's a guy in front of me, and there's an older guy with his kids in front of him. Older guy gets off the ski lift. $100 bill falls on the ski, like right where he was off, like right where he was at, where you get off. He got off. $100 bill falls. I see it. I'm like, ooh, cool, $100. I'm not gonna keep it though. I was gonna go take it to that guy. I'm like, this isn't a $20 bill, and that's even pushing it. It wasn't a $5 or a $1. This was $100. Could you imagine losing $100? I'd be pretty damn upset.
Yeah, I got pickpocketed once in Fort Myers. I had like $100 on me. It wasn't like a $100 bill, but I had like 520s on me. Crazy thing. This is just real quick. So then, like, we were at the beach bar, and then I heard someone say like, "Hey, somebody like found your wallet. It's at the go get it from like the bartender." So I went and got it, and then it didn't click until like 2 minutes after that. It was like the guy who pickpocketed me turned my wallet in, and I was like, that was pretty clever, motherfucker. And $100 gone. I had all my cards and everything. Like the only thing that was missing was the cash. Thank God, because like I would hated to like have to like cancel credit cards. And stuff.
That's the worst, is canceling credit cards, going without them while they send a new one.
And I was on
Right?
vacation. I was on vacation, so I was like, oh my God. I won't
What
have
a
any
nice
money.
guy. He only
I know,
took your
and then
cash.
he turned in my wallet. What a great man.
What a dick.
I know. And then it hit me. I was like, oh my God. Like, no one looked on the ground, saw my wallet, and turned it in. He probably was like, hey, I don't know whose wallet this is, after he pocketed the 520s. Walked away.
Wow. Yo, so that doesn't feel good. So I'm coming up to the ski lift.
Yeah.
The guy who's in front of me gets off, gets down, then he comes running back up the snow ramp, and he with his snowboard like on his one foot, and he's like hacking up, and he grabs the 100. He's like, "Whoa!" and then just slid away. And I'm like, "Yo, you're a fucking slime ball." So my question is, what would you do? Obviously, you're online and you're gonna lie if you, but. No matter what, you're gonna say you would give it to the guy, but
If I saw
it has
the guy,
bothered me and sat with me for this
If I saw the
long.
guy that dropped it, I'd
If
probably
I saw
give
the
it to
guy
him.
and who dropped it, I would more than likely give it back to him.
Right.
If I was the guy on the snowboard and hell yeah.
What?
Give me this. Let me pocket this $100. I just found a $100 bill. Zero idea who it belongs to.
No, but he did. He watched.
Oh,
Like,
Oh, he saw
we
the
both
person that
kn-
dropped it.
Right.
Okay.
So, I think you have a fair point. If I were to run into a $100 bill just on the hill or something,
Fucking
I'm
take it.
I'm never
Yeah.
giving it. If you come across money in a position or in a situation that you can never track down who it was, you should never turn it in because it's obviously going to go to somebody whose money it isn't anyway, right? Like if you found $50 and you were at Cedar Point,
Finders keepers.
you're never getting it to the person who lost $50. Either somebody claims it saying, "Hey, yeah, no, it was my $50," even though it wasn't.
And how do you know
I've
who's
done that
$50?
before.
I wouldn't
did
doubt that in the
before.
freaking
Someone was
slightest.
like, "Hey, did someone drop a 20?" I dropped the 20.
You
That's funny. I just swear to God.
snake. You snake. I swear to God. God's up top just shaking his head like, God
Just
damn
like,
it.
Another strike for Will. Ginger, that's 2. Almost there, Will.
just
Better
oh,
be careful.
Dude, all right. So I was once. This is really like bad. So I was walking back to my car after work, and I can't stand the homeless people. Like there's something about them, and they creep me out. They're the same ones. They're there all the time. Like, how are you not trying to do anything else? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
They have their spot.
Well, okay, I want to hear your story. The only thing I want to build off of that is I feel the same way. I would say it differently, but I feel the same way in that, okay, I work all day and I can't afford 80% of the things I want, right? Like, I barely have any money because I'm at school, like, work is tough, and here I am working my ass off all day, and why do I owe any of it to you? Now, like Latch last night, one of our buddies, he gave money to every person that came up to us, right?
Yeah.
And one of them got him to buy them a piece of pizza because he said, I'm a Vietnam vet. 1, not the right age to be a Vietnam vet. 2,
How do you
just
know he wasn't the right age?
hardcore no. But, hey, maybe
he
he
didn't look like
was.
he was like in his 60s, honestly.
I honestly, I wouldn't know, so who am I to judge? But being in downtown Cleveland, that thing, I'm told that every time.
Yeah, every
So how many of them are actually Vietnam vets?
I was told that by a woman once. I was like,
But
pushing it.
Latch lost so much money last night. Lost, but no, he gave it to people, and it made him feel good, and he did a nice thing for someone else. But my point is, these people they're definitely able-bodied people, and here they are. They got to sit around, drink a couple Cobra 40s, and smoke dope all day, and then they get my money. Like, wait. I'm just not seeing your logic here. Like, I feel really bad for your situation, and I know this isn't going to be read well at all by another audience, but the fact of the matter is, I worked hard for this money. I'm in school. It sucks. I earned all of this, and you got to have fun all day. Like, yeah, I would have loved to spend my day the way you spent your day, and yet I have to give you my money
I
now?
wouldn't buy a random person a piece of pizza.
Wait, no.
Homeless or not?
Wait,
I would buy myself
Hold up.
pizza.
Not just buy a homeless person a pizza. A pizza after you literally just gave someone $5. So, homeless
gave
guy
him
comes up, chilling right by you, hanging around, lingering like an orbiting planet. Like,
Waiting to get a chance to
I'm
strike.
not. No, they've struck. They're just orbiting now. Like, hey, I'm still here. Hey, give me $5. Hey, and then finally he's like, hey man, just get the hell out of here. Gives him $5. Immediately after, Vietnam vet wants a pizza.
Okay, so
Wait, so he gets the money and then
No, but
asks-
somebody else. They just kept coming. It was like, okay, we were one at the epicenter of...
They could smell the
Like
giveaway.
South Park. Once you give them money, they like just come,
Yes!
Come in.
change.
Well, no, dude, it's literally like a seagull. You ever, like, at a restaurant
You
that's
throw
outside
food in-
and there's one French fry?
Fry?
He's just like, fry, and then they all just... It's like, that's what they are.
Okay, so back to my story.
Yes, please.
So I'm leaving work, right? And I'm crossing the street, and I notice, like, a piece of paper on the ground that I think it's a dollar bill. Pull it up, $5. Hell yeah. Feeling good about myself. Just left work.
$5.
Not 5 feet away from me is a homeless person who saw me grab that $5 bill. Then asked me, "Oh, do you have any change?" Hell no, I don't.
You are an asshole.
I don't have a single dollar.
Okay,
for it.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That is a total different world than I'm living in.
Hey,
if
how
it was
is
$5,
different? I was better
I
at their
earned-
game than them. I was still paying the dollar.
You're
I'm
just
sorry, I'm better
luckier.
at you than what you're good at. No, it was a
dude-
dick thing. I've thought about it a lot, like on my conscience, but you know what? I still probably would have done it.
Not probably. You did, in fact, do it.
I was like, hey, you live with the demons.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure most people would. But when you break it down, it's like, that was $5 you didn't even have
Dude,
before.
I once did give
So-
someone down there like $2-3 before. Not 20 minutes later, I saw them with like a pack of cigarettes. And like a fresh pack, like open. Most of them were there. I was like, where'd you get that?
Well, you've
With what
also...
money?
Your money.
I mean, granted, it takes a couple to spoil... It takes one to spoil it for everybody. But
Change.
you have videos going, all over the internet of people who will be panhandling, and then somebody will catch them leaving in their BMW parked down the street. I mean, they've done the math. Panhandlers get like $15,000 a day.
They're making a lot
What?
of money. Yeah,
let me
panhandlers
get
make
you-
a lot of money.
What's a panhandler, by the way?
The guy that just sits at like the intersection of a street asking for money.
He gets $15,000.
No. Don't go off of that number. I'm gonna get us
It's
an
like
exact number.
$60,000 a year. I thought I saw.
They make solid money.
like they actually make decent money, dude.
Maybe
And
it's
they
a
have like
couple
their own
thousand.
areas.
How?
Like
Who's giving him money?
Tons of people, dude. Dude, it's the Democrats. The Democrats are taking your money and giving it to people.
I don't think it's.
They're like,
Democrats.
thank you for you. Don't forget to vote for us. Hey, sir, hardworking citizen that keeps the society functioning and alive, the foundation and pillar to our existence. Give me your money. I'm going to give it to that guy over there doing nothing. Hey, guy over there, please keep me in power. You're the one voting for us because without you guys, we'd be dead. So that's why we keep you where you're at. We don't allow you out of the poor system because
yeah, they don't actually help.
they help no one because they keep them there. In fact, if we could all be dirt poor on government subsidies, or they would love it because then they'd have our vote every time.
Yeah, I wish I wasn't going to work Monday.
I'm taking off Tuesday.
Nice, dog.
Okay, so of course my internet's moving beyond slow right now, but I'm pulling up right now seeing how much panhandlers make, and the question was, do they actually they make about $100 a day?
$100 a day.
And there's 365 days a year.
So that's not that much actually.
But it's probably more or less, like, depending on where you go.
Oh yeah, if you're in New York City, like
New York, California.
You guys went. From
oh
like,
no. Wait,
I was gonna say you guys went from 60,000 to like hardly half that.
Yeah.
right?
Still a lot of money for just standing on the streets.
I
I wish I could do that instead of going to actual work.
Yo, you know who make the most though? Panhandlers with dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they gotta feed the puppy.
Oh, man, I would feel bad for a puppy.
Yo, one of these girls from law school was telling me that she saw a guy on the side of the road with, panhandling, and he had 2 dogs. And she was like, "You're coming with me to the ATM, and you're taking this money and going straight to buying them dogs." And she gave him like $40. Here's a girl in like $40. $40. What? If you got $40 to spare,
It's just like one of those like you look at them
That's
and
why
be
I would
like,
just
why?
take his dogs and treat them better.
How do you know he's gonna use that money for that?
That's why I would take his dogs and be like, I will make sure these dogs get everything they want. Because they're puppies.
I saw a video of this homeless woman having man having his dog taken away from him because he was homeless, and it was honestly heartbreaking. The dude was like heartbroken. Like he was like started screaming.
They love their
frantically.
dogs, man.
Screaming frantically, and like the woman who took it was like so self-righteous. Like she thought she was doing the world a favor by it, and like she had like her, I don't know, boyfriend, husband, whatever. Like dude was big too, and like it was like an older guy too, like an older homeless dude, shrieking, crying, like you're taking the only thing I have.
Not even that.
It was
whole
like
world.
Like his
Yeah,
best
and, like-
friend, his
And like
everything.
they had people like stop the woman, then like stop, like people were like no, like just let him have the dog. He started freaking out even more when he got reconnected with the dog, and I was like, oh yeah, don't touch his puppy. Let him
Well,
have the
okay,
probably-
so
because he's
now
probably got other
I was
things
just
going
about
on.
to
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
now let's
that was
bring
like his
seemed
stress
yeah,
dog,
like, it
probably.
was,
but let's
like-
bring the conversation of homelessness to like the reality of the situation, right? Like we had our fun, yeah, they're annoying, yeah, they're a tough time, but why are these people in those situations? Because of our complete ignorance as a society with mental health issues. I don't know if either of you have seen Orange is the New Black, but they had a situation that I thought perfectly exemplified what's going on. And there was a woman who did literally nothing wrong, but was crazy. So she was like a professional, she had a really well-endowed job, and then she was literally nuts, and so they fired her. Then she couldn't get rehired. Then she would be, she couldn't afford a house, and then she's homeless. As a result, she's walking around aimlessly, spouting nonsense and everything else, and people would, like, be totally, anyway, the police they kept being called on her, and then she went to jail for literally doing nothing but be crazy. And how many people are in that situation? I mean, tons.
That's why homeless people don't like going to shelters, because they feel like they're gonna get like
in trouble,
yeah, or
like
get like
act out or whatever.
Naval
Get, like, taken and put
Ravikant
somewhere.
is the guy. It's Joe Rogan, the JRE 1309. But the only reason I bring that back up, one, to actually get his name right, but two, one of the things he talks about is how homelessness in this like huge epidemic is and he is a very liberal person. He's in like he's wealthy, extremely wealthy, and he manages big multi-billion-dollar corporations, and he makes these companies even more
What is
successful.
he, an investor?
He's
Or
like a
philanthropist?
he's like a here. I'll tell you exactly what he is. I can read the description, but real quick. So his point of why this epidemic is exploding is to blame the Democrats are to blame. And I laughed so hard. And his reasoning is because you had all these people who were legitimately mentally ill being placed into mental health facilities, and there were a range. Yeah, there were some really bad ones, but there were some good ones too. And the Democrats came in, these liberals that were like, these are like prisons for crazy
yeah, they
people.
shut down all
They shut them all down. And so
now they
here,
don't get help.
bingo, they don't get the help they need. My sister, I don't know how she's as tough as she is to be able to do this, but she's in pharmacy school, and her thing is right now she's working at VA hospitals, and she's giving people, they're giving the people their medication and trying to help these people, and it's like we don't have enough of that.
Yeah.
And just hearing the complexities of these situations, like there's such a wide range, and how to alleviate them and medicate them is so different. And we're still ignorant to even more. Like we know, from what we know, it's still minute. It's like what we know of the ocean. It's like we barely know the ocean. We think we know the ocean, and we know like just a small fraction. Same thing with mental health, if not worse. And so I think that's the biggest issue is, these people that are coming up to us on the street, it's like, at the end of the day, this is my hard-earned money, and I care to where it goes. But if I knew giving you $5, $10, $15, $20 was going to be put towards your success and, rehabilitation, then I would totally do it. But the reason it does bug us, the reason why you're not giving him the $5 you just picked up, is because he's going and buying a pack of cigarettes in a Cobra 40, because you know that they're not going to be, go. And so it just breaks your heart. You want to help. We're not savage assholes out here that like don't care. I might be, whatever. But at the end of the day, we're not out here trying to we're not out here trying. We don't have a hateful heart. You want to do people good when you can, but at the end of the day, you know this isn't going to do it for them.
Yeah, there was zero chance I was even in that $5. That was my dinner.
So it says that Naval is an entrepreneur, an angel investor, maybe an angel investor.
Angel investor, yeah.
What is that?
Angel investor. Just think of it like just like these giant funds that just, for instance, like he's like probably, I don't know, say he was like a real estate guy, and like his big thing was like purchasing like real estate. He would make these angel investment funds to funnel all of his investment money and funding for purchasing more like capital acquisitions, just to like build up his net worth and revenue, and then he would continue the cycle, and that's like how you kind of like, but like say like it could be like maybe, if I were to guess, he's probably like in technology, like a Silicon Valley guy, and
Yeah.
he's just consistently investing in like these new tech companies, and that's all he does though. But he's accumulating so much money off of investing in these companies, he makes more funds and like investments.
So here we go. I just want to end real quick that conversation with something I had pulled up here. So the New York Post followed up with a tale of a panhandler who sets up shop regularly near Grand Central Station and claims to pull in as much as $200 per hour thanks to a generosity of strangers. And then previous research indicates that the average panhandler makes perhaps $25 a day by begging for change on the city street. So what's the secret to the guy who bragged to the Post? This is just about a guy. So it seems like the average is about $25 a day, but depending on where you're at, it seems like you could pull in 400. I mean, Grand Central Station.
Yeah,
that shouldn't surprise a damn person.
No, there's
In the
tons
center of
foot
Brecksville?
traffic.
Oh, wait, they're not there because you're not getting a penny.
No,
They're in the center of Cleveland, though.
Where
And
there's more foot traffic there.
right.
than-
And how much do you think they pull in? That's probably the $25 a
Hey,
day.
they didn't pull in $5 that one day.
You love that.
It's like,
You love that you were just savagely mean to a homeless person.
bro, they smell.
Dude, that is the
I
worst.
shouldn't be able to smell you from 20 feet away. I'm sorry. I don't care who you are and like what you've done in the world. If I can smell you from 20 feet away in this society, in this country,
Well, what do you expect them to do? Just go clean in a river? Like,
I don't know. I'm just bitter
I mean,
towards
Lake
them. That's
Erie
why I
ain't
kept the
exactly.
$5.
well, yeah, if
clean.
you're getting, $400 a day, go to a pilot and use the trucker
That's true.
shower.
Dude, I'm just
Trucker
telling you
shower.
how crazy it is. I see like the same ones. Like I
100%.
recognize them by face.
And you know what I don't like is how aggressive they can get. I know there was one time I was out downtown
They
with a
get
girl,
mad, like,
and
sometimes.
he was like heckling the girl I was with, and then I had to insert my dude, leave us the hell alone. And he's getting all mad, like, what do you mean? I'm gonna have to live under a bridge? He literally said, I'm going to have to spend the night under a bridge tonight. Whereas if you were to pay me, I could probably get a hotel. One, what hotel? Two,
seriously.
how much did you think you were getting from me? Like,
Yeah.
I can't even afford a hotel room. And three, I'm pretty sure you were planning on the bridge no matter what.
Dude, I had this woman.
After a night of drinking, probably with the money.
Yeah, amen. Yes. Sadly too true.
I had this woman, and this homeless woman I was walking past, and like she was like, "Oh, do you have any change?" And I just look at her, and like, I usually have my headphones in, so I just go like, "No," and I just kind of like shake my head like, "No, I don't," and like real quick, keep it short. Don't want to talk to you at all. This woman, I shit you not, as where I'm sitting right now, belched hard, like just rudely, like on command.
Oh,
I was
don't
like,
even get
"No."
me started with
Like,
belchers.
it was just one of those things. Like right when she did that, I was like, "Oh,
Okay, can we ask a real social, like, important question?
sure."
Where do we stand on women belching, especially?
Like,
right?
just like
And I don't care
Are you talking
anybody
about, like,
out
your
there
girl?
listening going, why aren't we talking about guys belch? You want to know why we're not talking about guys belch? Everyone out there, I'll tell you why. Because I won't belch in front of you. So that's why. So we're going to talk about why women can't belch because it makes them even trashier, in my opinion. It's so gross.
But like, here's I'm gonna ask for context. Like, are
Okay.
we talking,
Okay.
like-
If we are at the bar and she's drinking a beer and it's the like, I do that. Like that's unavoidable. You just drank a shitload of carbonation.
you're-
Like we're human beings. But there's a girl I go to school with, dude.
and she'll just like belch like on command.
Dude. Bah! Oh, excuse me. And She legitimately claims that it's just uncontrollable. I can't help it. Dude, there was one time, it was the school's birthday, and all the faculty are in, there's this, like, it's called the pit, and all the classrooms go around it, and it's like the main area of the building. And they had cake, and all the faculty, I'm talking the president and all these, like, alumni, and it would... Dude, I'm getting ready for class. I'm sitting at a table, unfortunately with her, because I didn't want to be encompassed with this. And there were a couple other people, and we're sitting there talking. I think, we had a quiz or something going on, so we were kind of talking about the material. And she just, bah! Dude, room goes silent. I'm talking people are, and they all just kind of look over at us, and I was just like, whoa,
They all think
not
it's
me,
you.
not
They
me.
all think it's
And,
you.
Yeah, of course it wouldn't have been the girl, but it's like, and it was so loud. She's done it in class. It's like, no.
Yeah, she probably does it while she fucks.
In your face.
It sounds like this. If it sounds like this pressing of an issue for her on command, I highly doubt it avoids situations.
It's just totally uncontrollable, apparently, and it
Okay,
comes
so
out.
like in
It's
that
loud and aggressive.
context,
Yeah.
in her context, someone that is just like a classmate, I wouldn't consider her a friend. I could just an acquaintance, face to a name. No, but I wouldn't prefer that for a man or a woman. Like it'd be like that, but like if it's like my girl, like and she burps in front of me, like whatever. Like at that point, it's like. If she does it if it's like a frequent thing, like a OMG, but like if she has a big meal, like a big Chipotle and lets out a burp, like shit, I do that.
Hold up. But we're talking about two different things here.
Well, that's what I mean.
This
Like
was
after
in a classroom. Like this was like.
Well, that's
a lot
what I'm
of
saying in
people
that
around,
context. Like
official
she should.
events,
And
faculty.
bringing it back to, but I'm with you on the girl thing. Maybe it's a me thing. That's why I'm having this this is why I'm asking the question, because I can tell you I 100% will get turned off when we're here in this basement and we're having some shag time, hanging around and lounging around the basement, and you just hear a bah, and you're like, and if it isn't followed up by an excuse me, whoa, there's the door. Like, no thanks.
Bro, has this happened? Is this like an
Yeah.
I was gonna say like this sounds like a real.
And
It's hitting hard to home.
I could totally, there's two girls I could think of right off the get where after a while when they knew it bothered me, they loved it even more. I'm just like, bah! What are you going to do about it? I'm like, you're gross. That's what I'm going to do about it. You're gross.
I can't say I've had that.
Where do you
problem.
come out on this?
I don't really give a shit.
Yeah, you're a burper. You probably just rolling it. You're like, bah!
I mean, like, why do I give a shit? Like, if I'm at a bar and I'm at my table and you're at your table, I mean, as long as I can't smell your burp from across the
If
bar,
it's
like, why
not
do I give a
obnoxious,
shit?
if you keep it to yourself, like.
But that's true too. It's definitely the
like,
type.
yeah.
But I've burped at a restaurant where you're like, I mean, sometimes you just can't help it, but it's quiet and you're like, but you're not just
if
like,
she's verbalizing it to where like,
bah!
if
Well,
she,
there's
like,
a way, even if it's that big of a burp, there's a way to exactly, like, not do it.
if she like presents it like and then after it's like, oh, I give that a 6.5, like that's a bad sign.
She grades, she has a notebook today.
At that point, I
did.
wouldn't like give it much. I wouldn't give her much thought after that. I'd be like, oh, all right, is this what we're doing? Is this how we're going to associate? But, like she's like under her breath, like had big Chipotle, like I do that. I unbutton my pants sometimes. Like I just.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be bothered
Above my
if
pants.
either of you burped right now. We just drank some coffee, and I swear to God, if we were sitting here and one of you just goes, "But," I'd be like, eh.
Yeah,
I'm not
I'd
gonna
look at
judge
you
you.
like, oh, okay. Like, is
I mean,
that what we're doing?
aside from it being a podcast, like, if
would
we were
check
just
you.
sitting here bullshitting and someone was just like, "But," I'd still be like,
Oh yeah,
nah.
off
I
podcast,
won't
he's a
do
big
it.
burper. Like he just lets him rip.
Wrong.
How do
Wrong.
they know? It's our word against yours. I agree with Will. So there you go, 2 against 1.
What'd I just do? No one knew. Ah! No, I'm just kidding. No, but I here's my other issue.
Okay.
Sometimes it smells.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And at which point, I want to break your face. Ew.
All right. Question of the day: Would you rather smell a smelly burp or fart? That's not yours.
I think I would go with a fart because a burp would make me puke.
Yes, I am the exact same. I'd be like, what the hell have you eaten?
The fact that you'd be
That you
your
smell the
nose
burp
would
like
be able
that.
to decipher what you did eat. Like some of it's gonna be
Smells
your
like
stomach
jerky.
acid, some of it's gonna be the pasta, the spaghetti and meatballs you had, and the garlic bread. You're gonna be like, oh,
Shit just
there's the
smells-
garlic bread, there's the meatballs, ooh, tomato sauce, and stomach acid.
Oh, you had
stomach
Italian.
bile.
Didn't you? You had Italian, didn't you?
Ugh, yeah, not about that. That would make me puke, man. There are burps where I'm like, like a fart. You're just like, ew.
Dude, you smell a fart and you just kind of like put your shirt up and you're like, God damn.
Yeah.
You gotta go away. You hear someone burp and you smell it, you look at them and be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Keep it to yourself.
See, bingo. Back to my point.
Because you can't control your farts. And if you do, it's usually a shark.
Just a little bit.
No, but like,
Just a little skinny.
yeah, that's why I would choose. I would definitely choose a fart over a burp. If I hear a burp, because
Where
plus
you
when I
at?
hear a burp, it's like loud.
I'd probably rather be a fart because that's true. Like I was like, I don't really think there's too much of a difference, but
Oh, there's a
I think
major
you're right.
difference.
It's like
It's
like
principle.
if you can smell a burp, it's not a very good smell. Because like if it's just a
Right.
burp, like oh you got a little like you don't really smell it. But like if it's a burp to where you can smell it, it's normally not a very
And he
pleasant
said it's a
smell.
bad, stinky
Yeah,
one.
they're normally not pleasant smells if you smell a fart. Or, I mean, smell a burp. Like, if you're smelling a burp, it's normally not pleasant. Now, you almost always smell a fart, and it's never like, exactly pleasant, but
It never reaches the degree of a burp.
I do think burps kind of smell pretty bad, but it also depends on what you eat.
Okay, so.
Just want to sit in your own stank. Just can't,
No.
I'm glad I could smell your dinner stank.
Spaghetti.
All right. Okay, I don't know if we're going to do this every time, but just to lighten the mood and end on a high note, we're going to do a couple more Would You Rathers. We got a different list, a better list of. Okay, this one is 17 Would You Rather questions about sex that are damn near impossible to answer. I don't think so. But we'll go with the first one.
All right.
Would you rather have an obvious orgasm every time you're close to a piece of fruit, or never have an orgasm again in your life?
Oh, I'll nut next to somebody.
Yeah,
else. I don't give a
I'll
shit.
nut around the food. I agree with Will on that one.
It's an apple. What do I care?
But every time you go to pick up an apple, or like you walk by an apple, you're like,
Yeah, but
Yeah, I can live with that.
yeah.
I got mine.
how about this?
Okay.
Would you rather orgasm every time you go buy a piece of fruit, or orgasm every time you sit in your car?
The fruit.
Buy fruit.
Yeah, the fruit.
Because I'm probably buying fruit
Dude, I
less
want
than going to
to
my
have
car.
that happen on the way to work. Just like sit down, like, oh, I guess it's there all day.
No, you just sit
Guess
down.
I'm
You're like,
sitting in this at work, and then you get out of work, and it's like, well, now I
would
gotta
just-
drive home in this.
I would just like, I would just send out like a memo to the office, be like, could you just refrain from bringing fruit into the office?
keep it away from me.
I am allergic to all fruit ever.
Yeah.
Just tell the office.
You just come in like Bubble Boy.
I can't be around it.
Okay. Would you rather only be able to have sex in cars, or only be able to have sex in the shower?
Probably car.
Shower.
Shower, facts.
Yeah,
Car.
shower.
See, I'm looking at it like this because if you can only have sex in the shower, what if you're on a trip somewhere or whatnot and you don't have
A
a
shower.
shower, but you want to have sex? Like, what if I'm going through the Grand Canyon on a trip and I'm driving through the desert and it's like,
Then I'm gonna get a hose. And I'm gonna dangle it high above.
just pouring water out of a water bottle count as a shower?
No, you just put you take this cap, you put it over the top, you poke a bunch of holes, turn the hose on. It doesn't have to be a legitimate it'll just be
All right,
like,
get over here, honey. No, I pick shower.
I pick shower for sure. Even though sometimes that could be tough, you know? Like the water doesn't act as a friendly lubricant.
At
And it's
all,
actually washing away the lubricant that is there.
Yeah, but like I'd like the stand
Yeah.
and to get crammed.
I don't think a car is comfortable.
No, it's
You
not.
can have a shaggin' wagon.
All right, I'll give him. That's a decent counter argument. Like, I'll just have to change up my monthly car payments, but that's fine.
Yeah. Honestly, it probably won't be as expensive as a Beamer.
Probably not.
I mean,
Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't know what that's like, but probably not.
Yeah, I don't know what a shaggin' wagon costs.
All right, next question.
Doug, how much does a shaggin'
I
wagon
don't
cost?
know.
You had your van.
I did have a van.
Okay, would you rather sleep once with someone you were embarrassed by, even though it turns out to be great sex, or sleep once with your celeb crush, but it would have to be the worst sex of your life? Oh, dude, I'm sleeping with Selena Gomez.
Yeah, I was
yesterday.
gonna say crush just to say that you did it then.
Selena, yesterday. That
Let
was.
me read that again.
I don't care how bad she is.
Sleep once
I
with
just
someone
want
you're
to
embarrassed by, even though it's-
see Selena Gomez.
Yeah, I would, go with
I would
that.
definitely.
Oh,
Do I know who it
day.
would be right now?
I wouldn't
I,
expect-
No, you
I
gotta
would
pick it.
I
Hold on.
would
You
sleep
can't
on
pick
it.
that as your answer and
No,
not
that's
give me an
totally
answer.
my answer. But if it's going to
Give me your
happen,
celeb.
I'm sleeping on it.
No, give me your
if I
celeb.
can only get one chance, it's like nah.
No,
I gotta start.
No, you
thinking.
gotta do it right now. Who's your celeb choice?
I'll think for a bit.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I
You
don't
guys are
fucking
lame.
know.
You lose the choice.
Too
if
many
you
times
pick
Sorry, you
someone.
have like your freaking famed girlfriend since like you were 16.
I've picked my choice. Is it sad? I know.
no,
You
it's
should
not
know.
sad. No,
Daenerys Targaryen, Mother of Dragons.
it's not a celebrity.
Bingo,
that's,
that's
a
a good one.
character.
No,
No,
it would be. Does she have to wear a blonde wig?
I wanted to wear the blonde wig.
I want Amelia Clark in character of Daenerys Targaryen. I'm gonna make sure she goes through extensive hours of makeup for 2 minutes. Oh,
Okay.
all right. I'm going with Emma Watson.
Good one.
Oh, that's a good
Oh,
one.
it's-
Oh, she might even be hotter than Selena.
I wouldn't care. Like, I would just want like at least like solid like 30.
No, I'm saying I might pick her too.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely sticking with Selena.
Yeah,
Boo,
stick-
her or
I do
Jennifer
like Emma
Aniston.
Watson. That's a good one though.
Age like fine wine. Always.
Amen.
I want Stormy
And
Daniels.
she could teach me
No,
some things.
but what
So
the
I
hell
can-
is wrong?
I could be
Eskimo brothers.
Eskimo Brothers with Donald Trump.
You just add it to your resume.
I'm with Doug. Sorry, Selena. I'll still be keeping it in my imagination like I have since I was 16, but I'm going with Doug. I want to be Eskimo brothers with Trump.
What's a little more imagination?
Yeah. At the end of the day, 50% of the time I'm closing my eyes pretending it's Selena anyway, so I'm just going to do that with her.
Aren't you glad I sat and thought about it? Because that's a pretty good one. You're like, just say it! I had to think about it, and you know what? Eskimo Brothers with Donald Trump sounds pretty good. Woo!
That's a great choice.
You hear that, Donald? I'm coming for that.
I'm coming for your ass.
I'm coming for that ass, Donald. All right. Would you rather receive an alert every time that your parents have sex, or have your office alerted every time you have sex? I'm going to be honest with you. I'd like to know that my parents aren't having a bad relationship. Be like, hey, this
Yeah.
is healthy.
would
I'll
take
let
Dick.
my office know because I don't really give a shit. Why are they
I'd
gonna
like to
care
know.
when I have sex?
Yeah, Doug, you're gonna walk into your
wanna make
office
sure
every
they're
day,
like-
and they're gonna be like, "Congrats on the sex, bro."
The
Very
main
good job,
thing is,
man.
the last thing I need is my anybody at work knowing when I'm going through a dry spell and when I'm not. Like, hey,
I would love-
hey, Gergat, how's that going over there? You still dry rubbing? Like,
I bet you cry. No, I would prefer the text from my parents.
yeah.
I would
Yeah.
expect
I
like
would
maybe
not
like.
want to know when my parents are having
I honestly
sex.
think I get like 1 or 2 a year, so I could. Look
Doug's
back.
like, hey, mom and dad, I'm leaving to go to my buddy's house for the weekend.
And then I get
and he pulls out the driveway. He's like 2 houses down. Ping. What the
You
hell?
get the second one. Ping.
Ping, 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 ping.
Exactly why I
Damn,
don't want that.
Dad is
notification.
fast.
Just. Oh my god, my dad still slays more ass than me.
I don't like this conversation.
You put your phone on mute.
It's still coming. It's on your Apple Watch. You're like,
3 minutes into
Frozen.
3 minutes into a road trip, you put it on Do Not Disturb.
okay. Would you rather only be able to have sex in 5-minute increments for the rest of your life, or only be able to have sex for 5-hour increments?
5 minutes, bro. I have no time for all of that.
I have no problem being like, whip, whip, whip. Nice job.
Hey,
Have a good night.
right when you finish, hey, I got mine. You can go now.
But 5 hours would be pretty great.
Depends on
the
you.
women would
and
love
depends
you.
on how much time
Okay,
you got.
hold on. 5 hours would be pretty great. Yet you're never ever going to come again
Dude, if
in
I'm
your
at
life.
5 hours, pay me. Like, I better be charged hourly at that point.
You're a
Like,
gigolo?
I want
I
my
can
hourly.
guarantee you 5 hours of vigorous lovemaking.
However, I need to be paid up front, and we seriously need to make it to the 5th hour.
One rule, we go the full 5.
If I'm doing it for 5 hours, I'm legit putting work in. I like to think I put work in after 5 minutes, and I feel much better about it.
Dude. Plus, I would like to think, though, if you became this professional going for 5 hours, you'd be ripped. Like, you would be the most
cardio.
jacked
Think
person.
Good cardio.
Think of the calories.
They say that that's the best physical workout a person can actually do, is have sex. Having sex is like the best.
I thought it was
physical
swimming because it
workout.
works every muscle in your body.
Sex works even more.
Sex in a
Sex-
pool, that must
dude,
be the best.
swimming- Dude, imagine sex while
Jaws.
swimming. OMG.
What?
I said imagine sex while swimming. OMG.
That'd be so miserable.
Dude, I'll be doggy paddling back.
It's like, oh, yeah, no. Okay. Would you rather always have sex in pitch black darkness or always have sex in public places? Pitch
black
black.
darkness.
I already do pitch black.
Yeah, I would
Let me
go
put a
pitch
candle
black.
on. Okay. And then you're like,
I turned it
oh
on.
shit, sorry, I'm huffing really hard.
I can't get it lit. It's just,
Spit on it. Oh,
it's wet now. Sorry.
they light up the candle. You. Just.
I see
ew.
better with my hands, right? Like, so I don't need the lights anyway.
I just need to like feel.
Plus,
Okay.
I also don't want to get arrested and become like a sex offender and be in a database because it's in a public place, and then they charge you with that because there are kids nearby. So I don't need that. I
Why
like
was that in quotations?
I like that because
allegedly.
because like because you can get charged for it if you go to like a park at night and we're like pissing because you're drunk or something. Well, because it's a park
Yeah, I know.
and kids go there, you'll get charged with
That's
it.
how Charlie Day got in trouble on Horrible Bosses.
Exactly.
Yeah, Charlie. Okay.
That's what.
We'll make this the last one. Would you rather shout? Would you rather shout "I love you, Mom" every time you orgasm, or shout "Long live the Queen" while saluting every time you orgasm?
Definitely
Ooh,
number two.
long live the
Definitely
Queen.
number two.
Long live the Queen.
I just don't text her back. I feel better already.
I told her I hope she lives long.
She asked for $5. I was like, "Did you not hear my protocol with that? Get the hell out of here." Long live the Queen.
Long live the Queen. Yeah, trust she probably wouldn't judge you as much if like, I love you, Mom. Just what?
That might cause some weird
Did he say mom?
issues.
Yeah, he didn't even say mommy. He just said mom. It was very weird.
It's terrible. All right. Well, I think that's a good note to end
Dude,
on.
you'd be her like brought up in therapy, extensive therapy. Like, would you like to go deeper into this? Yeah. It'd be like
My
you were-
boyfriend would yell, "I love you, Mom," every time he would sleep with me. Did you look like his mom?
Does he have a good relationship with his mom? His mom's dead. Like, I don't get it.
All right.
That took a turn.
Yes. All right. And on that note, we end it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share. Let me know what you think. Thank you. We had a great time. Long live the Queen. Peace out. See you guys.